Hello and welcome. Today we will be covering the shortlist for the Winery of the Year when it comes to the 2022 Halliday Wine Companion Awards. And if we haven't met before, my name is James Follent and I believe the world of wine is beautiful and complex. So I create videos for wine lovers to learn more about the world of wine. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing, but only subscribe if you're enjoying the content that I'm creating and you think it is valuable to you. And here, if you're watching along on the live stream tonight or watching this back on the replay, please comment any questions in the chat or comment below and let me know if you have any questions that I can answer, and I might be able to answer them now or follow them up in a future video depending on when you comment. So let's get into the stream here this evening. So I'll jump straight into the screen recording or the screen share to talk about the Winery of the Year and the finalists on that list. Being the first one, we're looking at a photo of Bindi wines from the Macedon ranges. So while exemplary standards across this year's release are fundamental to all our awards, our criteria for Winery of the Year, Winemaker of the Year, and Viticulturalist of the Year are quite distinct, making it highly improbable that one estate could be a strong contender for all three. Whether you look at Bindi from the perspective of its vineyards, its winemaking, or its wine, it qualifies on every level, which is why the tiny and beloved estate of the Dillian family, high in the Macedon ranges, is the only winery to pull off this unlikely hat tricks of nominations this year. So let's jump across, look at more of what Bindi Wines has to offer, and see why they are likely to be contenders for Winery of the Year. They've got a highly rated Pinot Noir that looks like it is great value. It's coming in at $60 a bottle. The closure, polish, or has polished power, but the spice notes have been turned up, and so too a murmur of undergrowth. It's silken to the touch, but electric with spice, and while flavor runs healthily through the palate, it reaches its height on the finish. Bindi's Dixon Pinot Noir is coming of age. This release is proof. So quite a high rating for that particular wine. They have a few different Pinot Noirs up there. They have a well-regarded and well-valued Chardonnay coming in at 97 points palatial in the way it expands through the palate oak and fruit gather to produce a forceful front of flavor, creamy texture, and fresh acidity, part of a seamless whole. Wonderful length. It is a stunning wine. Coming in at $90 a bottle. That one is a screw cap. I'm quite interested in what people have usually as part of their Shiraz offerings. I have a big bias towards Shiraz. Wine's Original Vineyard Pinot Noir is also something that is coming through. I see that you've got well regarded for their Pinot Noir over the years, it looks like. So this Bindi Wines Purette Heathcote Shiraz, clearly the result of a peak vintage. It's cool, spicy, powerful, and satiny at once. Cherry, plum, sandalwood, cloves, meat, and peppers. It glides through the mouth and on the finish, offering both power and freshness throughout. Coming in at $40 a bottle, 13% alcohol. Drink by 2032. I suspect from the photo that looks potentially more like a cork closure than a screw cap, but that's not listed here. Let's see what we can find out from looking at their website to see if we can gather any potentially additional information about MV6 cloned Pinot Noir. Has a little bit of a DM closures on those ones as well. Let's see if we can check out their website to garner any more information about this particular winery. So this is the shortlist for Winery of the Year for the Halliday Wine Companions Awards 2022. So we're looking at that. Bindi is the first on the list. It's awesome. They've got a blog about the recent vintage, the 2021 season. That'll be interesting to come back to see if they have anything else on the blog. They've got vintage 2020. They have a backstory behind something as well, which is quite exciting. I might come back to that and unpack that later on. But it looks like the collection of wines we have here as part of this are focused most notably on 4 varieties of Pinot Noir, a Shiraz, and 2 Chardonnays that make up the composition of the wines in this series. It's interesting that a 2013 Pinot Noir is available for purchase. That one, I'm trying to figure out how do I wine styles buying. Can I actually buy it from the website? Are they selling wine on this website, or is it just telling gallery photos of the wine? Oh, that's a beautiful photo of a lovely dog. Wine Dogs of Australia. It's a book. Reviews and articles. I got a history of reviews there going back. History of articles written about that particular wine. How do I buy Bindi? Sold out, sold out. So they're doing all right if all their wines are sold out and you can't purchase them. And it looks like their Shiraz is the only one that is left. So that is quite an impressive series if they're managing to sell out of their wines. That is what you want to see. And they've got archives for their newsletter on their website, which is pretty good. Let's have a squiz at their newsletter. Purchase now. They've got a good variety of things on there. So they're doing a good job. That's worth good effort. Good effort with what they have on there. MailChimp as the newsletter provider. So Bindi Wines was Winery of the Year, contender potentially, with all those extra ratings for other nominations in other categories. And if you're selling out of wines, you must be doing something right. So let's move on to Cullen Wines from the Margaret River. Cullen, under the tutelage and direction of the irrepressible Vanya Cullen, is responsible for a swath of wines that feature among the very best in Australia. Biodynamics and Cullen's fortunes have become entwined and has shaped the direction and expansion of this celebrated vineyard in the Margaret River. The nomination for Winery of the Year is based on a remarkable catalogue of wines that express Margaret River in a way that has captured minds, hearts, and palates of drinkers and writers around the country. So if we have a look at Cullen's wines and what they're producing, I'm expecting to jump in and see some interesting articles around Cabernet as part of the list of the wines that they have. Got some nice photos there as well to go with it. And there we go, some highly rated Cabernets as part of that series. A well-rated Cabernet Sauvignon from 2016. Full Moon Margaret River Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc Semillon. feel like we looked at Cullen wines last week as well. But this one could be a bargain. 95 points. Coming in at $39. This could be in the top 100 wines that Halliday produces. So 62% Cabernet Sauvignon, 37% Merlot, 1% Cabernet Franc, matured in French oak for an average of 6 months. A lifted, quite fragrant bouquet with aromas of bay leaf, fresh green herbs, and road berry fruits and cedar. A finely balanced, medium-bodied palate, silky and supple, with ripe but restrained flavors interwoven with very fine tannin, poised and precise. $39 a bottle. Its screw cap got a decade in it, and it looks like, as well as this current vintage from 2018, previous vintages have also been well regarded for the quality and caliber going into this, and coming in with such longevity is quite an impressive part and quite an impressive feat already. So just the longevity that is going into some of these wines is something that is really interesting. So this is probably one of their more premium wines, 2016 Cabernet Sauvignon from the old estate vines, yielding 1.5 tons per hectare, picked on a new moon day with a solar eclipse, wild fermented in terracotta eggs, 86 days on skins, pressed to 4 French barrels, 3 new, matured in 6 months, a totally harmonious medium to full-bodied Cabernet. All the components precisely, naturally calibrated, supple cassis, olive, and bay leaf keep watch. 1,080 bottles made. This is going to be an expensive wine. As soon as I started reading that there were kind of 1,080 bottles made, I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be of caliber and quality," but it's got longevity. It's under screw cap. And I've listened to a podcast recently about fermentation and fermenting wines in terracotta eggs, which was quite interesting. So I'm on the hunt for finding a wine that was fermented in terracotta eggs to enjoy that. But I don't think I will be spending $500 on that particular bottle of wine. Let's have a look at what else they have to offer from Cullen Wines. In the Margaret River, top red wines to try. Do they have any other kind of whites that are up there? The Legacy Series Fruit Day Chardonnay is well rated, as well as the Diana Madeline, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon. Ceramic egg? They like their eggs at Cullen Wines. Natural winemaking at its very best. $250 a bottle. A hit to the hip pocket. 13% alcohol. Drink by 2030. Screw cap that higher end of Chardonnay. Cullen Wines. Yep, great value wine here from 2019. 98 pints gold. So this might not be in the running for the Halliday Awards. I'm not sure if they've made $129 a bottle, 2042 ageability. A wild fermented Bordeaux blend matured for 18 months in French oak. It has waves of complexity, changing shape as the luxuriant cassis swirls on the mid palate, then finishes with ripe textured tannins. The overall freshness is perfection. So that's another quality wine in their series. I skipped past their Semillon Sauvignon Blanc blend. So more Sauvignon Blanc than Semillon. Wild fermented, some matured in oak. Gives the wine richness. In turn, duly Cullen vineyard sauce, tropical fruits of the drivers, guava and lychee joined by citrus. Complex yet refreshing. $31 a bottle, very drinkable, very accessible as part of that wine. Let's see what is available on their website. Let's go to the Cullen Wines website to see how that is going. There we go, Cullen Wines. What is their philosophy? What's going into their wine making process? Could make them winery of the year, potentially for the 2022 Halliday Wine Companion Awards. They've made the shortlist. Put simply, biodynamic viticulture is a philosophy combining the maintenance of sustainable soil fertility and the recognition of the link between plant growth and rhythms of the cosmos. It is a method of farming that treats vineyards as a living system which interacts with the environment to build a healthy living soil that helps to nourish the vines and general environment. Since 1971, when Cullen Estate was planted, chemical intervention was minimal and the family's concern for the environment paramount. In 1998, the change to the total organic viticulture was made. Diana and Vanya went intuitively towards healing the soil by putting back what they had taken out. Organics is about soil health. Drains were put in. Cover crops and composting resulted in a grade organic certification in 2003, being gained by the Biological Farmers Association of Australia in 2003. Whilst attending a biodynamics conference, Vanya Cullen decided that biodynamics would add further to the holistic natural approach to both the vineyard and the winemaking. Later in 2004, the Cullen Vineyard became certified A grade biodynamic by the BFA of Australia, and the Mangan Vineyard and Winery followed in 2008. Additionally, we have 5 biodynamic kitchen gardens which supply over 90% of the fruit and vegetables used in our carbon positive dining room. Wow, that's a mouthful, and wow, that is a lot of exciting things going on there as part of their process. The history that would have gone into it, what can we see as part of the wines they are selling? That philosophy is a powerful philosophy. Diana Madeline coming in at $140 a bottle. Kevin John coming in at $135. The PF Malbec and the 2018 Mangan Vineyard Red Moon are much more accessible price points. Red Moon is quite a vague thing. I want to find out what else is in that. What happens when I view them tasting notes? Blend of Malbec and Pied Verdot. What are their tasting notes? Deep red, at least 10 years, plum, pomegranate, and mulberry notes. It's an interesting wine. It's interesting seeing the biodynamic philosophy on showcase here that has gone into it. Amphora. It's exciting to think about and think about how those kind of wines will turn out on the other side. $100 Sauvignon Blanc. Semillon coming in at a much more accessible price. Some member exclusive wines, some back vintage wines as well. Big price coming in at $1,500. What are the tasting notes on these? Heavy hitters. You can find some magnums. So they've got a range going on there. An eau de vie that's mulberry. It's been. I think my wife will love this. It is sold out, unfortunately. I will have to keep an eye on something like that, an eau de vie. Very interesting. My wife is a big fan of mulberries as part of that. Exclusive for members, back vintages of a wine that could age much, much further. Dynamic wine room is part of the experience. I wonder if that contributes to the criteria for Winery of the Year. I think they are definitely a contender for the shortlist. Duke's Vineyard. I think we looked at these guys last week. I'd say they're producing wines at a fantastic price point. I think they're much more likely to get the best value winery. So Duke's Vineyard is nestled into the northern face of the Porongurup Ranges in the Great Southern. It was planted with the determination of charm of one man, Ian Duke Ranson. He was once one-eyed in his vision to produce great wine in the tiny region and has led the way, hand in hand with winemaker Robert Deletty. Riesling, Shiraz, and Cabernet are planted, and despite a move to Albany, Duke, who is in his 80s, can still be found tending the vines with a twinkle in his eye. Duke's Vineyard is a truly remarkable realisation of a dream, and one which Western Australia is very proud of. It'd be awesome to see them get this, but I think they're a much stronger contender for the best value winery with some of the wines that they have on offer, like this concentrated Cabernet Sauvignon coming in at $42. If you want to hear more about what I had to say, check out the Best Value Winery live stream that I did last week for the 2022 Halliday Wine Companion Awards shortlist. From memory, Duke's Vineyard was the contestant, the contender. The winery was going to, I think this one is going to be named the Best Value Winery as part of the Wine Companion Awards ceremony that will be broadcast tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on August the 12th. So I think they have high quality as part of that, as part of the value of the wines that they're putting out with all those value rosettes on there. So they are definitely an exciting one to see how they are progressing. And there's just lots and lots of medals, awards that they have been recognized for. They got Wine of the Year in 2019 for their Riesling, I believe. So, very exciting times for them, with the quality of wines that they're producing. And we'll move on next to Helen's Hill Estate in the Yarra Valley. Helen's Hill is not only a fully fledged winery and restaurant, but it is also an important contract grape grower. The vineyard is meticulously managed using state-of-the-art equipment and unusually devotes the same care with the grapes for its own use as for those sold to other wineries in the region. So they're supplying other people in and around that process. Make that happen. Let's see what range of wines they have. A Pinot Noir, Cullen, Yarra Valley Pinot. That looks interesting. A Sauvignon Blanc, Yarra Valley Cabernet, rated quite highly. A Chardonnay, rated quite highly. And I like checking out a Shiraz in a mix. We also have a Chardonnay on offer. An MV6 clone of Pinot Noir matured for 11 months in French puncheons. Very much in the style of cool, vintage, elegant, savoury, very long in the mouth. Wild strawberry and cherry fruit is dusted with spices, dry herbs, and cedar oak. A strong sense of place coming with this wine. Drink by 2029, $60 per bottle. They have quite a positive history of those wines there with how they are rating. This next one is a Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot Cabernet Franc Petit Verdot blend. I think that's pretty much like a Bordeaux blend. The Yarra Valley will have the 2017 vintage long remembered as one of extreme elegance of both red and white wines. So it is here in the array of forest and bramble fruits, fine tannins, and French oak woven together in a silken cord. That wine has a very long life ahead of it, going up to 2037. It is sealed in cork. Would much rather that see it done in screw cap to see how that is going. And then let's have a look at the hand picked whole bunch pressed Sauvignon Blanc. Oh no, this is a Chardonnay that I'm on. Puts the Yarra Valley Chardonnay on par with Margaret River as the best Australian region for Chardonnay. White peach, nushy pear flavours. Fruit flavours dominant. The oak subtle. The acidity fresh. $60 a bottle. I am hesitant of the creaminess of Chardonnays and the oakiness, but my heart is with Shiraz. This one looks like it is great value. Crushed and destemmed, open fermented, 14 days on skins, matured for 10 months in French oak, a great example of why Heathcote is regarded as one of the foremost regions in Australia for Shiraz. This overflows with supple blackberry fruit, rounded tannins, and a clean finish. Exceptional value, coming in at $22 a bottle. Could age for over a decade. As part of that, that would be something that would look like a great bargain to find on bottle shop shelves near you at $22 a bottle. Let's see what their website is looking like for Helen's Hill. Yes, I am over 18 years of age. Some nice imagery there. Producing 2 ranges of award-winning wines from a Coldstream vineyard. So some Riesling, Chardonnay, Rosé, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, a variety of price points, Cellar Door, Wine Club. Envie de Blanc. I haven't heard of what that is before. That's a new kind of wine to me. For the loading time. From a Pinot Noir variety. I say envie as in the French in life. You say envy as in I want what you have. However you say it, envie is a sparkling wine that invites a celebration, relaxed spirit, simple, complex, whatever the mood or occasion takes you. Technical notes, rewards, winemaking notes. Piques my curiosity. Haven't heard of that kind of a wine before. Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Merlot, Chateau, High Country Riesling, Blanc, Chardonnay, Syrah. I almost want to go with these guys as winery of the year, just seeing the vast range. A Prosciutto 500 mils for the bottle size. That's interesting. 7 to 8 grams of residual sugar and semi-sweet. I want to know what's going into a Prosciutto. What is a Prosciutto wine? Is a red Italian grape variety grown in the Piemonte region. That is interesting. An Italian style variety. In a 500 ml bottle, that gets me curious. A rosé style wine. That's interesting. Hilltop Syrah is an expose on the versatility Shiraz and as a variety, a wine that displays generous dark fruit up front and is finished impeccably with tannin and a hint of pepper or spice, a perfectly balanced cool climate Syrah liquid elegance. The lack of winemaking notes on the website. There was also the $22 bottle. Might be the Ingram Heathcote Shiraz. Gone up slightly in price. Shiraz stands the test of time. They have a solid range there out of Helen's Hill, which is impressive. Extensive Barossa, Yarra Valley, Napa, Loire Valley, and Marlborough. Got quite a nice range there. Going on to McHenry Hohnen Vintners. Winemaker Japo Dalicani is as considered and detailed in his winemaking as he is in words that he chooses to describe wines. This year, we witnessed an impressive array of wines that spoke precisely of their vineyard sites and the varietals, carrying us off in each instance with imagination, gentle flair, and utter focus. While the style of the house emphasizes Margaret River regionality, the hand that shapes them exhibits a balance, finesse, and distinct preference for minerality, line, and form. Beautiful wines. They've got some good things going for it. Just having a quick look at what's on there. Zinfandel in the mix with a Syrah Cabernet Sauvignon. Rolling Stone. Let's jump into the Cabernet, Syrah, and Chardonnay offerings. Partial malolactic fermentation, I guess. Old Vineyards. 95 points, $65 a bottle. Got some cellarability in it. Fermented in concrete vats. Matured 16 months in French oak. Savory, textured, very long. This is another succulent red fruited explosion of the Margaret River Cabernets. It has the layered complexity we often find in Bordeaux with a plumpy, satisfying core of cassis and red currant. Not overt, but strained with willowy tannin, sour drink. Both will bring immense pleasure. 2041, $70 a bottle. Screw cap, like seeing wines with screw cap on them. Seems these guys can't do any wrong at the moment. Layered, spicy, slightly reductive in a good and engaging way. Stemmy, juicy, and delicious. Briny, acid, and red fruit. Savory, structured, and quite exciting. With the salted heirloom tomato character that so excites in Shiraz/Syrah. Interesting description to go along with that wine there. And let's check out the website for McHenry Hohnen and see how they are going, what's on their range of wines there. So as that loads, we'll see what their website looks like. Wines of purity and place. Biodynamic farming, minimal intervention winemaking, single vineyard wines of the Margaret River. I like how it takes us straight to their wines. They've got a variety of Chardonnay, GSM, Grenache, Shiraz, Mataro, a Rocky Road Rosé. I like the name of that. Hand-picked Tempranillo grapes going into that Cabernet Merlot, Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Chardonnay. They have quite a nice variety. At Zinfandel as well is there a BDX. Marcinate, Rosinate. What's this one? Sustainable farming practices combined with artisanal winemaking deliver a wine of intrigue. The fragrant blend of Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Petit Verdot is deep and concentrated, yet poised and balanced, bursting with aromas of lavender and crushed violets. Sweetened spices, dark cherries, and mulberries are complemented by more savory notes of balsamic herbs and mocha. The palate is voluminous and soft with a ripe frame of tannins providing structure and length to this deliciously fragrant wine. Up to 20 years of aging in it. So they're going all right. Not necessarily as much of a standout there. So let's move on to Mosswood. There are quite a few, like Margaret River is well represented here. So Mosswood has long been responsible for some of the finest Cabernet wines, not only in the Margaret River and Western Australia, but in Australia at large. The nomination for Winery of the Year recognises not just the superb achievements of the Wilyup Cabernet, current 2008 release, is one of the greatest to date, but also the stunning attributes of the Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Semillon, and others. Keith Mugford and his team at Mosswood have, through their work over the years, cemented themselves in the Hall of Fame of the Margaret River and Australia. So they're doing something right as part of that. So let's see what their website has to say. Let's see if we can find that Cabernet that was highlighted. Also, I'm curious. Sauvignon Blanc, 10% Semillon. It's blend. Coming in at $76 a bottle. Pretty penny. This was the 99-point wine that I believe was recognized 2021 Halliday Wine Companion Awards. We're getting into the 2022 Wine Companion Awards with this. So a Bordeaux style blend, got aging potential going on beyond 30 years, coming in at $128 a bottle. That is an impressive wine. Screw cap, good to see. They've got like a nice little kind of mosaic of things going on here. Bit confusing, but taste them to the wine. Cabernet Sauvignon. I almost wish I could see the price point just on here. Chardonnays, Pinot Noir as well. Come up with a pop-up. Ooh, that's exciting. They've got a video to go with it. Something from Vimeo, it looks like. That should play. It's a pretty good video. Not a bad run there. How vintages that they've been doing that for. 2018 is the latest release. Oh, I have moved to their contact page. Enjoying the data they provide. Bottled. Released. September. So it looks like they're going to be releasing some new Pinot Noir. Click purchase. What would it be coming in at? $3. Here's the purchase page. Do not that they're pop-ups. They've got a few pop-ups going on. But without becoming a member. Close and accept. Mosswood Pinot Noir, $70 a bottle, 70, 67, 56. So some things have already sold out from their collection. So they're doing An all right job there. I like the website. I like the videos. I like the story that comes with it. As part of that, nothing necessarily strikes me from that. So let's have a look at Oakridge. So looking at Oakridge in the Yarra Valley, there's no question that David Bicknell is a cracking winemaker. His prowess with Chardonnay is well celebrated, reinforced by no fewer than 6 gold medal scoring Chardonnays in this edition. That he can back this with similarly rating Pinot Noir, Syrah, and even Gris and Rosé is what puts Oakridge in running for Winery of the Year. Clever fruit sourcing, even in the competitive environment of the Yarra, matched with intuitive and attractive winemaking, makes for a stunning lineup of no 20 reviews above 93 points this year. That's compelling. That's a compelling score there. So let's have a look at the wines that are coming out of Oakridge. The well-rated Chardonnay, Cabernet, another Cabernet, a sparkling Meunier Rosé. Looks like it'd be an interesting style of wine, and a Shiraz to match. So very small make, hand-picked, chilled overnight, whole bunch pressed to puncheons for wild ferment, aged on lees for 10 months before transfer to stainless steel and further 6 months maturation. Joyously concentrated but self-contained. 97 gold. Screw cap 2028. Rating looks like producing potentially price when tasted $90. Very steep, not your day-to-day drinking. You know, the Cabernet Sauvignon picked 15 days after the 864 from a single block in the Upper Yarra. 6 weeks on skin, mature in French Barriques, 35% new for 16 months with regular tracking. Has a particular flavor and feel accurately described by Oakridge as some other funky character. Fine grained old school claret without any green notes. Interesting. $65 a bottle. Screw cap. Yep. So they've got some stuff going on there, some stuff going for them. So this Cabernet Sauvignon held on skins for 4 weeks after fermentation for 18 months maturation in French oak, bright crimson purple. It is elegant Cabernet that is flushed in the warm vintage. So the Upper Yarra sometimes poses challenges, but not here. The tannins are savoury and fine, adding to the quality of the wine. $42 a bottle, 2038. Screw cap, doing some great stuff there. He stemmed over 30% whole bunches in the bottom of the fermenter, part velvety rich, part savoury spice from the warm, high yielding and at times chaotic vintage. This is remarkable. 2018, $45 a bottle with a long life ahead of it. Let's check out their website, see how it's going. They are closed with the current lockdown in Victoria. Let's see what is going on in their shop. You can order gift vouchers. There's a few wineries using pop-ups. Single block range, Yarra Valley range, Vineyard series, specialty range. Just want to shop all the wines. Coming $90, $30, $44. Well awarded here. $90, the 864. It's sold out. Some Chardonnays, a Saldor specialty wine. What's going on there? I like to discover things that are unique, that are varieties that are a bit out of the usual. I'm trying to figure out what variety this is. Varieties. I've never heard of this wine variety before. I can't even. Piedmonte wine grape Italian variety. That Langy region. It's really interesting. diversity. Wine searcher. Get some hits. 2018 vintage. What it is described as. They have tasting notes on here. Growing conditions. It's an interesting one. I find it fascinating when they experiment with different wine varieties that aren't as well recognized in Australia. Baton Rouge. Blend, Magnums, Classic Twin, Cabernets. They have quite a nice variety of wine. They have a hamper to go with it. Garden grey, vibrant pink in colour, slightly turbid on the nose, blood orange, citrus notes, pomegranate, slight flick of Campari. Lushly fruited, juicy with red apple skin, pear flesh and lychee flavors cascading their way along a vibrant line of acidity. Fruits are complemented by a positive tannin line, which provides texture and complexity. This would be one I would definitely be interested in, seeing how that would go. 2018 Baton Rouge. Dark brooding purple red, blackberry, dry finish, blend. Cabernet Merlot was the thing I was interested in seeing as part of that particular wine. Sparkling Blanc de Blanc, Gris, Swash Garden, Oakridge Semillon. They have quite a nice variety of whites there. A Meunier. I think that's a Pinot Meunier. Yep, Pinot Meunier. That would be a rarer variety in Australia. Less commonly produced. Yeah, this doesn't have the description box that I can see. So they have quite a wide variety happening there, which is exciting. I think they're maybe top 2 Oakridge as part of this, seeing their range and their value that they provide as part of this. So let's see how they go. I'm hoping they get to celebrate. As part of potentially winning that award with such a great range of wines as part of the best winery of the year in the 2022 Halliday Wine Companion Awards. So let's see Shaw plus Smith, see how they're doing. See how they're performing. The wines that they're producing. 95, Pinot Noir, Shiraz, Chardonnay, Riesling, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. They have quite a nice range there. I'm going to jump into the Pinot Noir and Shiraz and the Riesling. I believe Adelaide Hills is a cool climate Riesling. So the Riesling wasn't on the front burner when Shaw and Smith set up business at Sauvignon Blanc. Cash cow funding other less popular varieties handpicked. There's 50% whole bunch pressed, 50% crust, each fermented separately, blended and bottled after 4 months. The small crop meant the wine is intense and powerful, yet fine textured. $32 a bottle with some good value coming alongside that. Let's save the website till later. Looking at their Pinot Noir. It's got potential from the high Lenwood estate block, 30% whole bunch, and the rest whole berries, matured for 10 months in French Pensions. The wine is so delicate to start that you could miss its genuine class at first. That would be a shame, because what lies beneath is beguiling and has a chance of awakening into something very, very special over the next few years. Fragrant with violet notes and blueberries, puckered with gentle savory spice and acidity. And there are just the first layers beginning to unfold. Be patient and decant for now. $93 a bottle, pretty penny with how much that costs. Sourced from 3 sites, a mix of whole berries and bunches, matured for 14 months in a third new oak. Alluring mix offering an early hint of balanced earthiness, plum fruit, white pepper from tannins, and savory element to finish. $49 a bottle. 2032 is when it should be drunk by, or drinking guidelines. What do they have on offer for their wine shop? have a tasting set. I'm liking that, to be able to taste the new releases, to figure out what you want to buy. Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Shiraz half bottle. Don't think they'll potentially get it this year. More condensed range, harder to persevere after the bushfires from the previous year. So let's have a look at what Yarra Yering is putting out. So in 1973, Dr. Bailey Carrados released its first commercial vintage in the Yarra Valley in 50 years. Almost another 50 years on, the wines crafted from the fabled site that he chose so meticulously at the foot of the Warramate Hills have stepped forward as the finest in the country. Winemaker Sarah Crowe embraced the vision and legacy set by Dr. Carrados from the outset, winning the accolade of the Halliday Wine Companion Winemaker of the Year in 2017. For the wines of 2014, her very first vintage at Yarra Yering, her wines in this edition are hailed from the 2019 harvest, making the 50th anniversary of the planting of the vines. Even in this warm season in the Yarra, her wines carry a beguiling grace and breathtaking refinement. See what is on. There are a few different things going on there. Underhill, Dry Red, two notable wines that they're producing. 96, 95, 97 Pinot Noir, $105 a bottle. Quite expensive there. Shiraz Underhill, 96 points, $120 a bottle. Not necessarily your average everyday drinking. 90s Plantings of Thierry National. It's quite a mix here. Such a blend here going on. This would be quite a unique wine. $105, 95 points, 13% alcohol. Screw cap going on there. I've also flicked past the Underhill as well. Yeah, Yering Dry Red was some I opened twice. So let's see what their website is looking like for Yarra Yering. Not to be confused with Yeringberg either. So looking at Yarra Yering. Top winery in Australia 2021 by the Real Review award-winning Yarra Valley Winery. There's dry red wine number 1 and 2. Have reputation and quality over many years. See all the current release wines. I haven't tasted them, so they could be a foot in with what they've done. I'm not sure. Focused intensity with the wines that they're producing. They could be in for it. More expensive end of the price point with what they are listed here. Not necessarily for your every. Here we go. Some the Warramate range, closer to probably your everyday drinking. Let's have a check on Yeringberg, also from the Yarra Valley. From what is perhaps the most historic site in the Yarra Valley, Yeringberg crafts a wonderful suite of wines of subtlety and gentleness, amassing gold medal scores this year for Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Shiraz, Viognier, and of course, most of all, its iconic Cabernet blend, following the landscape of the precious patch of Yarra and staying true to the varieties that work best instead of chasing fashions. They are future-proofing the vineyard, playing on root stocks. So looking at Yeringberg there. Next one's New Millennium. Prices aren't necessarily So it was told us those, this is new release prices, and I'm looking at the old vintage here. Not necessarily grabbed and immediately impressed by anything. Bordeaux blend going into this to put that together with longevity. Don't think Yeringberg will get it. Just looking at that range there, I'm not sure if that's up to date. Is the other part of that. But let's have a quick check at their websites. It's harder to tell what wood is likely to go ahead here. Oh, they're quite a small website about us. And I can't buy your product. I can find out more. It's clever to get me on your mailing list. Yeringberg. Kind of a bit of a more of a, leaves me thinking of crickets. It's a sense of silence that I can't find and see your wines on your website. I can't kind of see a listing, but I can sign up to a mailing list to find out more. Disappointed seeing that as a website. I was hoping for more information. With their winery, they're in the running for Winery of the Year, not Website of the Year. It's part of that. I do appreciate that they give you the ability to sign up though. So looking at that kind of range of wines, it's hard to say what would be most potentially captivating there as part of that. Potentially Mosswood could take it out, or Oakridge. Just re-looking at 20 reviews. It'll be interesting to see what is announced tomorrow night. I reckon Duke's Vineyard will get the best value winery. It'll be interesting to see. I think Cullen Wines doing an outstanding job of biodynamics. I'm not sure if that will play into the judging for this session, but let me know what you think. Let me know down below, comment down below what you think is going to prevail. What do you think is going to win as Winery of the Year? Let me know what you're most looking forward to out of these wineries. Do you subscribe to any of them? Do you buy from any of them? Do you have any preferred varieties? Be interesting to see what happens to tomorrow night with the live stream for the best winery of the year as part of the 2022 Halliday Wine Companion Awards. The Winery of the Year will be an interesting category. I think, yeah, looking back over these descriptions and these write-ups, the Oakridge or Mosswood could be the ones vying for first or second place, is kind of what intuition is telling me, but we'll find out more definitively tomorrow night as the results come in. But thank you for watching along tonight. I appreciate you being here. And if you're enjoying the content I am creating, please make sure you consider subscribing. Give it a like on YouTube so other people who might be interested in this content can be suggested this on YouTube. And I'll be streaming again next Wednesday night as well, 8 p.m, doing wine and the art gallery of New South Wales with the virtual walkthrough of the Archibald Prize. So doing some wine and art from at home in Sydney, lockdown, 8 p.m. next Wednesday night. Thank you for watching this evening. Let me know what you think in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. And remember, wine is just best enjoyed with friends and family. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.